So it's been like a week since I filmed anything in the garden. I've finally gotten caught up on all of my videos I had recorded and not edited. So I figured I'd update you on the garden today. So we had a storm come through last night and it like bent back the fence wire that was holding up my cherry tomatoes. But we do have watermelons. And we also have a tomatillo. And beans are starting to go crazy. And these are These are the volunteer tomatoes, and most of them are cherry. This one right here, I have no idea what kind it is. And these tomatoes are going wild. And there are tons of tomatoes. Those are the 4th of July red tomatoes, and these are my Black Beauty. Ain't they pretty? And this is the white scalloped squash that is no longer in the beds. But unfortunately, it's getting to be that time for them to be ripped out because of all the squash bugs. And there it is. Squash bugs bore holes in fruits, or the larva does, and just devours it. And these cherry tomatoes over here aren't doing as great, but we have been snacking on a few. Ground cherries. The carrots are starting to thicken up quite a bit, but they still have a little more time before they're ready. This time, because of the heat, I start to lose a bunch of tomatoes, and I have lost about half of this row so far. But the Cherokee wax beans are doing great. And these are my sweet potatoes. And my zinnias. More sweet potatoes and onions that are not doing so hot amongst these weeds. But they are starting to bulb up. But the asparagus beans are doing great. The sunflowers are looking pretty. And soon it'll be time to pull up all these potatoes, the ones we haven't been snacking on already. But the okra that I planted last is starting to look really good. And these rattlesnake pole beans have produced a ton this year. I will definitely be planting them next year. And I have corn. This is my second trellis of the rattlesnake pole beans. And they are covered. I absolutely love using cattle panels as trellises for any kind of beans. More watermelons on this trellis, along with some beans. And these tomatoes are starting to grow. And all my peppers, if you can see them. And this is one of the ones that survived from last year. It's already got peppers, along with the pretty and purple. And my cucumbers are finally starting to take off. With tons of volunteer marigolds. These tomato plants are doing really well, and they have already got tomatoes. And this one is the Golden Queen. This is a volunteer tomatillo. My squash is not doing so well at all. So I'm going to be pulling that up soon and replanting something else. And that's signs of the vine borers. All the gooey stuff out of the vine. And already have a cucumber from this plant. And this is one of the ones I started. But when your cucumbers do this, it's normally a sign of irregular watering that I'm very guilty of. These are my green zebra tomatoes. And they produce like crazy once they get going. Same issues with my zucchini. Just this time of the year, they don't last. So while there are a lot of things in the garden that look really good, there are lots of things that look beautiful. I've had some issues with my zucchini bed as well as my yellow squash bed. I think it's a nitrogen issue, so I think what I'm going to end up doing is planting some green beans. Green beans are great at releasing nitrogen into the soil. They have little nodules on them, on the roots. So the plant sucks nitrogen out of the air and it releases it in the little nodules as they start to break down. So the plants I plant over the winter, the fall and the winter, will not benefit from the nitrogen in the nodules, but the following year it will. And also, I like to cut the stem off of the green beans when they're done so that it leaves organic matter left in the soil, which is a huge benefit for soil health. So, as I start pulling up all these plants, I'll be adding them to my compost so that it will future benefit all of my next year's plants. Thank you. Thank you for watching.